Attractive women. They're the ones that are complaining the most why they can't find dates. I wonder why.
We're back with another video, one that one of my female followers sent to me to get my take on, and I have to say, I'm really glad she did, because it gives me a chance to talk to women, especially the younger ones, who are decent and who want a good relationship with a man. And today we've got a lovely young woman who just turned 30. She says she's never been on a date, never been asked out, and she's wondering why. Let's hear what she has to say first.
Yeah.
I've gone on quite a few dates nowadays, guys. Like, just, playing the field. A lot of women I date nowadays, because I'm still traditional kind of millennial kind of guy where I still take them out on dinner dates and things. I vet them pretty well. And yeah, a lot of these women are like, yeah, I've never been taken out on a dinner date like this before. And in my head, I'm like, red flag, red flag. And I almost feel sorry for these women. It's like, so you've only been ever called to hit and quit. Like they never called you and like, yeah, let's go grab some dinner and showed you a good time and everything. It was just always come on over. Sadness.
Guys, this is for 30-year-old women who are Christian and still single. I'll start by saying this. I turned 30 last
Were you Christian the whole time? Or did all of a sudden you change?
year. I'm going to be 31 this fall. I have never been asked out on a date in my life, and I mean that. Never. I've never been approached by a guy. I've never had a man show interest in me. And I would never have admitted to that a couple years ago. I was ashamed and embarrassed about that. I was like, oh, it's because I'm stupid maybe, or, I'm not attractive or all these things. Like, I thought it was a deficiency in me. But I have been hearing from other women the exact same thing, especially Christian women, where it's like, no one, I'm 27, I'm 28, I've never been asked out. And so I think there's a problem on both sides. I think that women get blamed a lot, where people will say, you hurt yourself in your 20s and, you cared about your career and you did all these things to keep men away from you. And I think I never did any of that stuff. And I know a lot of other women who didn't do that stuff.
No, you did. You just didn't realize the things that you did that.
And they're just, men aren't asking women out maybe. I don't know.
Okay, so she covered a lot there, and I'm glad she shared with us her thoughts and feelings. And I hope those of you watching will indulge me a bit as I go into dad mode. You see, I have daughters in her age range, and I want to answer her as if one of my daughters had asked the same questions of me.
Good. Yeah, man, that's why we appreciate you, Dan. To me, Dan feels like a father figure to me. That's why I like watching him and listening to his advice. This is what I love about YouTube and things. I get to watch so many creators, listen to everybody's advice. I don't have to listen to everybody's advice. I mean, take everybody's advice, but I still get to listen and inform myself of how people think, how people move about life, how people suggest things to other people.
So let's impart some fatherly wisdom by starting with the big one, where she said she's never been asked out on a date. Now, most people would probably roll their eyes and say, oh, come on now, that can't be true.
No, Dan, I've dated a significant amount of women now, and a handful of women said, yeah, I've never been taken out like this before. Like, this is the first time. And they got wowed. They got like this wow fact. And it wasn't like a fancy date. It was like Chili's adjacent. It's just like a small, like, hole in a wall restaurant that's like chili adjacent. Also it costs like $40, $50 for the meal. Some pho. And they just like, oh, I've never been like, just basic pho. Taking them out to like basic eats sometimes is so new to them.
But I actually believe her. In fact, I think she said out loud what a lot of good women, especially Christian women in their 20s and 30s, are quietly living. They just don't say it publicly because, as she mentioned, it feels shameful. And that's something that's important for all of us to hear. But we need to hear this also. She's not alone in this. She's just the brave one who admitted it out loud.
Yeah.
And here's the second thing that I want to address to her specifically and hope that she hears clearly. Darling, it's not because you're unattractive, and it's certainly not because you're broken, stupid, or unworthy. From what I can see in the video, you're none of those things. This isn't a deficiency in you. So what is it? Why are more and more women making it to 30 and beyond without ever being approached by a man, without ever being asked out by one? The short answer comes down to one word, and that word is feminism. For the past 50 years or so, feminism has been demonizing men. Boys grow up hearing that they're toxic just for existing.
Correct.
Men are told they're dangerous, creepy, or unwanted before they even open their mouths.
I feel bad for young men. I really do. Like, they grew up in this Me Too era, this pandemic era, where they have very crappy social skills because they were locked in at home while during like those very social times for them. Young men are confused. They don't know what to do. And women constantly badgering them not to do this, not to do that. Like they're I wish more young men would watch our channels. Most of our channel, like at least from what I can tell through my analytics, is a lot of older gentlemen, like men that are 25 plus. A lot of 30 plus men watch me, and it's great that you guys do because you're in that very important era. But I wish more 18-year-olds and maybe 16-year-olds watched us just to navigate through life a little bit better for them.
Time men and boys reach adulthood, that message has sunk in. They've been trained that women are landmines, not potential partners. That if they say the wrong thing, even something harmless, the likelihood is they'll get labeled as creeps. And that's
Misogyny.
at best. Then along came the Me Too movement, and whatever little courage men still had was completely destroyed. It basically told women, if a man says something you don't like, or even if he doesn't, just call it harassment and make him pay. If he makes you feel uncomfortable, destroy him. And
that is literally what Me Too did. Like, as much women just don't want to admit this and they're lying through their teeth. Oh, it saved it, helped out victims. Yes, we're not saying it didn't help out victims, but it also weaponized it to where women can literally file false allegations at any time.
And don't lose a second's sleep when you do. So what did men do? How did they respond? They did the only thing they could do. They walked away. Not just from marriage, not just from dating, but even from approaching women in the first place.
Damn, even from society. I have so many messages and from men that don't even want to participate in society anymore. They just do their job, go home, and live their life, play video games, and do their thing. They don't want to participate in society.
Hell, at this point, most men won't even talk to a woman anymore. So large is the risk. And that is something men have done. Assessed the risk versus the reward. So let's break that down next. Men are very simple creatures. They assess things by looking at the risk versus the reward. And the risk these days, well, he can lose his job, his reputation, even his freedom for simply saying the wrong word to the wrong woman at the wrong time. Hell, he can lose all those things by not even saying a word because...
yeah, by just ignoring a woman.
The woman might be offended that he didn't. One accusation, true or false, he's branded for life. Contrast that with the potential short-term reward. Maybe she gives him a phone number. Maybe it turns into a coffee date. Maybe it turns into something more down the road, which again has its own inherent risks, but we'll leave that for another video. Imagine being a guy in a grocery store who notices that you're attractive. 10 years ago, he might have walked over and said, "Hi, I'm Jake from State Farm and just wanted to say hello." Today, he thinks, if I say anything, if I even glance at her and she doesn't like it, she could call me creepy, record me, put me online, ruin me. So he just grabs his milk, walks out the door, and you'll never know that he noticed you. That's the world that men are living in now. And that, more than anything, is why you and all the other young ladies like you have never been asked out.
Yep.
Now let's talk about another fact. Here's where it's going to get tough. I'm going to say something many of you are not going to like hearing. While you personally may not hate men, while you may respect them and want a partner, the fact is, feminists don't.
Nope.
In fact, they've made it their mission to destroy relationships between men and women. They've labeled those relationships toxic, oppressive, abusive, and worse. For decades now, the loudest voices have been the feminist ones, and they do control the narrative.
And you guys did not speak up. And that's the problem. You didn't defend men. You didn't defend anything. And you didn't shame the women for doing the horrible things.
They control the very society we live in. They've been screaming that men are predators, abusers, oppressors, and good women, women like you, have let them. You didn't push back. You stayed quiet. And that silence allowed their toxic voices to dominate. So yes, even though you didn't create this mess, you're now stuck living in it. You're the ones dealing with the consequences of it. And maybe you think that's not fair, but it is real. So let's be clear.
I always say it, life isn't fair.
There are good men that are still out there. Men who would respect your faith, value you as a woman, as a human being, and want to be in a real relationship with you. But they're not going to risk everything just to say hello. They've seen too much. They've been burned too many times. They've watched their fathers, uncles, and brothers lose everything in a divorce. They've watched their friends get falsely accused time and again. They've watched celebrities, athletes, even regular guys get dragged through the mud for nothing. So they've said, nope, it's not worth it. That's why, despite being attractive and having good values, you've never been approached and
Correct.
likely won't be anytime soon.
I mean, it sucks for the good women too, right? The good women get overlooked because there's just so many bad women. And men don't want to deal with the bad women to find the good women. So the good women just get left alone in a sense.
It's not because of you, but because of the society we now live in. The society that feminism wanted and has created. So here's my dad-like advice. Don't take this as a reflection of your worth. Take it as a reflection of the culture we're all stuck in. Keep your values, stay grounded, but also, and this is critical, be vocal about respecting men. Stop letting the feminists control the narrative. Stop letting them control you. You need to make it clear you are not part of the noise, not part of their cult, the cult that demonizes men and hates them. You need to stop letting them speak for you and tell the world that they don't.
I say this all the time. I wish more women would defend us. Or like, not even defend us, but defend the truth. I always say that. Like, at least defend the damn truth.
Because here's the truth. Women who openly say, I like men, I respect men, I value men, are rare today. Rare indeed. And rare stands out. Rare gets noticed. You don't need to chase good men. You don't need to lower your standards, though hopefully they're somewhat realistic.
Yeah, hopefully.
What you need to do is signal clearly, I am not one of those voices that is tearing men down. That alone puts you in the top 5% of women right now. Hell, maybe even the top 1%.
And they're out there, man. I've dated enough now to actually meet these women. I've met them. We just don't align in other things, but these women genuinely appreciate and like men and understand what men can do for them.
And be aware, if you do that, they're going to come for you. Feminism's ultimate goal isn't equality. It's control.
Dominate.
Control of women. And when they lose that control, they will do anything and everything they can to destroy her. So no, my dear, you're not invisible. You're not broken. You're just living in a time where men have been trained to run the other way, when men have been forced to run the other way. Until women as a collective group start saying, we respect men, we value men, we need men, this drought is going to continue. But if you're one of the rare women who stands up and says that out loud, you won't be waiting forever.
No.
Because good men are still out there. They would love to find a good, happy, healthy relationship. But they're going to wait for proof that it's safe to show up again.
100%. All right. I always say it. I think men value relationships, marriage, and kids and legacy more than women. We really yearn for it, but women are just not that thing to yearn for anymore. Please like, subscribe, comment down below. I really appreciate that. And catch you guys next time. Ciao.